Ben, I would like to just ask you to describe to the audience what this means to you.
This is a piece of cloth about 5 by 3, but it's more than that because it means that we are free. It means that we have the ability to pursue happiness and prosperity and enjoy life. As we see in the world today, there are other cultures and societies that don't share those beliefs. And of course, this is the symbol that we in the United States use for our liberty and freedom. I think that we grow as a people through adversity and challenges. And in these times, we are certainly challenged. And hopefully we will come out stronger and a better nation for these challenges that we meet. So it's important that we take an active role. You know, when we have an election, less than 50% of the people vote. And many people died for that right under this flag. And we as Americans don't even take that opportunity to vote and help make the decisions that our country will go forward with. So this coming year in the primary and in the general election, take time out and vote. Do your part to make America what it can be, a stronger and better nation.
So our Thanksgiving dinner this year includes a list of 20 people. So do we have any cooks in the audience who would like to come up and do a table topic, or should I just call on Cheryl? Thank you. A staple of the Thanksgiving meal is mashed potatoes. Would you please explain to us how you would go about preparing mashed potatoes for a group of 20?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. The reason why I put my hand up when you talk about Thanksgiving is because I actually wanted to tell the audience what I plan to do. So I'll just spend 30 seconds and try to answer your question and then do what I want to do. Boil the potatoes, put it on a plate or something, you mash it, maybe throw some milk, salt and pepper, and you have mashed potatoes. Let me tell you what I want to tell you about. For Thanksgiving this year, I will be volunteering. I'm volunteering at a place called Food and Friends, as you probably may be aware of that place. So I'll be getting up very early and head to Port Taupin Metro Station, where I have to park my car. And at that point, I'll be picked up and be taken to Food and Friends. I go there and I'll be a pilgrim. Fortunately, I'm not sure what a pilgrim is when it comes to Food and Friends. But what I expect to be doing is chopping potatoes, onions, and other food stuff. But it's important that I give back to society. One of the things I learned in college was, as an educated person, your duty is not just to yourself, but also to community. And so I take volunteering very seriously. And for that reason, I will be volunteering this Thanksgiving.
Alex, your fear of public speaking, you have an opportunity to overcome that if you'd like to come up here and participate. we have 20 people and there's lots of food being prepared, and somebody says to you, Alex, make the gravy and don't forget to use this on the turkey. So would you please explain to us how you would go about making gravy, and then what would you use this item?
Okay. So I don't do much cooking at my house. We always have a big family that comes over, and my dad usually does the turkey, and he puts it, what I would guess is on a big pan, and bakes in the oven for, I guess, I don't even know how long it should be, an hour. And then you take it out, and there is a bunch of juices on the bottom, and I'm guessing you soak that up and kind of put it in a bowl. And I think you boil I think you take all the meat off and you boil something like the skeleton or the flavor out, and then you do a bunch of other stuff and flavoring. And basically, I make gravy. That's probably so yeah.
Okay.
This is for suctioning the gravy and the fats out of it.
Very good. Sounds great, Alex. Thanks. We come to your house for dinner.
No.
Do we have time for a few more? Another volunteer? Volunteer June.
Make it easy.
I'll make it very easy. So there's 20 people. All the food's cooking and everybody's sitting around and enjoying getting ready for that big meal. You're the host. Turkey's been in the oven for a couple hours, so you go and you check the oven and it's not working. The turkey's not done. What would you do?
That's a good question. In fact, this just happened to my daughter. It wasn't a turkey thing. She was making a cake for her boyfriend. And we have double ovens. So she was doing other things, she was baking other things, and she had the cake going, and it was in for 40 minutes. We looked at it, just wasn't coming together at all. It looked like it just wasn't baking, and we thought it was because we were using gluten-free products and they don't always quite react the way you think they're going to. So she put it in for another 40 minutes, set the timer, and meanwhile we went on with other things to do. And finally we just took it out. And I came back about 20 minutes later and I said, Chris, the cake was in the oven that was not on, and the upper oven is still on. She said, oh, that could be why it didn't bake in the first place. So we had to do a switch. In this case, with a turkey, this is really tricky because turkey is large. And it isn't like you can just slice it and fry it like you would do something else. I think what I would do is to cut it in half and cut it in quarters. I would turn up the oven a tad. I would watch it closely to make sure it didn't burn. We'd use that suction thing a lot. And keep it moist. And I would try to find someone to entertain my guests, explain what happened, let them know that it's going to be a little bit delayed, but it's going to be well worth the wait. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more. Volunteer, anybody?
Beverly?
Beverly. So Beverly, I'm going to hand you, out of my bag here, this ribbon. I'd like you to read it to the audience and tell the audience, share with them how you think we as society are doing in regard to this, or you personally, what this means to you, that kind of.
This is a purple ribbon that says support our wounded. And wounded means that someone has been hurt. And the way we can support our wounded is first of all acknowledging them as a friendly person, just the way you would acknowledge anyone else. Second of level, you will listen and see what cares or concerns they have. And third, you will offer your support. It could be just a smile. It could be maybe inviting them over or become friends with them. Entertain in the conversation. And take it from there. It will be an individual approach to each one. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I think we are ready to move on to the next topic.
Great, thank you very much, Larry. That was a great topic because that was appropriate, and we're just at the corner of our Thanksgiving holiday. And now that we know we have some great cook in our club also, especially Alex. Well, this time I'm gonna be the turkey cook, and my daughter wants turkey, so we'll see how that goes, and all this educational moment that we just had about cooking, so we'll see. For myself, actually, on the Veterans Day, I signed up as a veteran mentor, because I do mentorship for some others. So my wife was at home as a government worker, and she asked, what would you like to do special for Veterans Day this year? I said, okay, let me sign up for a mentorship. So that's what I did. So, and I'll probably do some more volunteering, hopefully. And we'll have some turkey also, so enjoy everybody. Anyway, next part, what we are going to do is we are going to do evaluation, which is the unique thing of our Toastmaster International. And for that, I'm going to ask our general evaluator, Mr. Paul Kepwin.
Thank you, Shek. Hello again, everybody. My job as general evaluator is to conduct the evaluation portion of the meeting. Evaluation is a very important part of our organization of activities, and it may even be the most important, because this is where we learn what we've done, how to improve, to give candid, honest, positive feedback to each other about our performance up here at the lectern or the extemporaneous speaking. I have a team who helps me, helps the general evaluators, and the first member of my team I'm going to introduce, who will explain his role, is Tim Lee, who will explain, I'm sorry. Yeah. Tim, can you give your evaluation, your timers report?
But why would we do
Paul.
that before?
Evaluation.
He's got a time the evaluators.
Oh, did I get confused?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Gotcha.
I can wait.
Let's start with the evaluations. Evaluating June, Farhan. Evaluating Farhan. One thing you learn, I think, when you're at the podium and you mess up, seriously, is not to apologize over yourself. Just keep going. Half the members of the audience won't even notice because they're not even paying attention to you. So, I'm going to introduce the speech evaluators first. Our icebreaker speech for today was from Farhat Khan, and evaluating Farhat was Toastmaster Cheryl Adams. Cheryl?
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and specifically Farhat. First, I want to say that, know that the audience, we are all your friends. So fear us not. As Shola said, let's adopt courage. I will not take an officious position by any means in giving you my evaluation today. It's your icebreaker speech, so I'm here to help you. You have some very strong points in your speech. You're able to inform us of your love of education, of higher education, of science, of helping people, especially those who suffer from the tropical disease, malaria, and for that I do commend you. We also learned that you love to learn and you want to pursue higher education. You are a very educated person. I am truly impressed, especially since science was not my thing in any level of my education at all. And you also thrive in outsider environment. You told us when you showed the diagram that you're from north part of India, and then you went to the south, and then you went back north, and then you came to the United States. That's big. You showed some preparation in your speech. You were able to speak to us about your life. You told us about your family, your wife, your son, and your daughter. One thing I didn't hear clearly was an opening, a body, and a conclusion in your speech. What I did notice was that you spoke without using any notes, and that is also commendable. One thing I'll also encourage you to do is to have your equipment set up and to learn how to use it, because when you're distracted, it could tend to make you feel a bit nervous about your presentation. It will take away from that. I sure enjoyed your speech because I learned so much from you and about you. And I learned that you're not afraid to travel outside your home, which is big. You've actually thrived in that respect. I know that as you continue to give additional speeches and you practice, you will do better. And please feel confident going forward.
Thanks. Our second speaker was June Rainey, evaluating June. Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters in June, I want to compliment you on an exceptional speech. As just your second project, I think you certainly met all the objectives of the speech, which was to, the project is organize your speech, and I think you certainly did that. It was a topic that you knew very well, very knowledgeable of it, personal experience with it, so I think it lent itself to this particular project, which was to find something that you are familiar with and you can speak about. Your speech was well organized. You had a nice catchy opening where you talked about diseases being on the rise, and I'm going to give you 3 scenarios. So I think once you said that, everybody's ears perked up to hear what those scenarios were, and they were personal to you and educational for us. So I think that was real terrific the way you did that. You spoke very well. You had some notes up here that you referred to, but really didn't use your notes because, again, it was a topic that you knew well. So I think that that too is very complimentary of how you did. As far as anything that maybe a little better, maybe just a little vocal variation, and this is a personal topic to you, so I think bringing out some of that personal emotion might help enhance the speech a little bit. But you spoke clearly, very few ahs or ums that I could detect. You knew your information. You had a great opening. You had a nice body talking about the diseases. And then what I really liked was how you transitioned to the end about basically if you have this situation, don't let it get you down. Here's some strategies you can use to overcome it and continue to be delighted. I use the word delighted in what you do. So excellent job, and I look forward to your next speech.
Our third speaker was Charlotte Ami, and evaluating Charlotte was Andrew Cohen.
Well, like Cheryl, I was going to say that I would be inefficient here in evaluating. I think I might have made that up. I didn't get a chance to check my phone to see if that's really a word. Because the speech was just, I thought, so amazing that I feel humbled here to be able to evaluate Silva's speech. In the 10th speech, there are different categories to which the speech is supposed to address, and I'm going to just quickly go through them and just give an overall. So the first is relevant in terms of being able to inspire. And I think, of course, there's no doubt that a life of courage is relevant for us here in Toastmasters, and that SOLA really made it relevant in terms of the fear of failure. And probably a lot of us are here because of the fear of failing in public speaking. So it was very relevant and related to connecting with the audience. I think Solar is just amazing how he walks around the room and is passionate and uses hands and really tends to reach out to the audience and bring the audience in. And he uses different pitches in his voice that reflect the passion that he's bringing in the story. And you can't help but to be drawn in by the way he does that. So I think that's just wonderful. And some other criteria are forcefulness, confidence, and positive. And he absolutely expresses and translate his feelings and passions to the audience. The use of stories, I mean, starting out with the story in Nigeria with your wife and the bullets was amazing. It got my attention here. I actually started to become very concerned about what was going to happen there to your wife. I'm also concerned about what happened to you afterwards. But you didn't include that in the story. Using anecdotes and just the story to begin with, it was amazing. I think you had this epiphany here when a young man had his leg amputated, and you expected that you were going to have to console him, and yet he inspired you, and that changed your life. I think that was a great part of your speech and presentation on how you had that moment that changed your life, and you made that commitment to address your fears of failure and have courage. Used great body language. It was definitely uplifting. And I would, just summarize that you bring so much passion, you bring stories, your techniques are just wonderful. And the only things that I might suggest is that running from bullets is probably not a failure, but a fair, again, get the shot, so yeah, wouldn't be hard on yourself for that. And the only other thing for me would be following the transitions from your introduction to the body to the conclusion. A little bit difficult for me just to follow that transition in your stories, but otherwise I thought it was definitely a wonderful speech, and I enjoyed it and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. It's my job now to make comments about the meeting, the overall meeting. And I will do that by starting by saying, this has been a wonderful meeting, and for our guests, you can see what we're all about. This is what we do. We have a good time, and we learn a lot. Every meeting. This has been a wonderful meeting. The meeting, I was going to say started on time, at least our Sergeant Doms attempted to start the meeting on time. Okay. Now I'll call on my members of my team to give the times report. I'm just ahead of myself. To give the times report, team.
Okay. The report is for the members each. June used 7 minutes and 2 seconds. Han used 4 minutes and 32 seconds. His time is supposed to between 4 and 6. And Shana used 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Ben used 1 minute and 53 seconds. Sherry used 1 minute and 40 seconds. Alex used 1 minute and 1 second. June used 1 minute and 39 seconds. Damini used 31 seconds. Sherry, for the evaluation, used 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Larry used 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Andrew used 4 minutes and 12 seconds. That's all.
Thank you, team. For the accounting report, Shrisha.
Before I give my report, I just want to say one thing regarding awesome arms. When I was doing my MBA, I was told I have to give a lot of speeches, and I was told when you cannot remember something, just use the filler words. it's really easy to catch bad habits. So when I started Toastmasters here, the first day I saw our counter, I was like, why do we need an our counter? We can use the filler words to fill the pauses. And I think I have to work on it because I use a lot of ahs and ums. But today, the speakers did extraordinarily well. I could not find any ahs and ums or any repeated words for June and Sola. For icebreaker speech, couple of ums and ends. For table topics, Cheryl used the word officious, which is the word of the day. Alex, he's our guest, and I'm not being officious, but you still use a lot of ends and repeated words. Ben, you gave a perfect impromptu speech, no ahs and ums or no repeated words. And Cheryl for table topics used officious, and for evaluation, I couldn't find any ahs and ums. Andrew used a couple of ums and ahs. That's all I have for
Grammarian's report will be given by Helen.
Today was a good day. We had very few misspeakings. Shake, I had a few, but I only am gonna mention one because I can't write faster. You said, as said by, when you were talking about what Paul said, and you should have just said, as Paul said, or what Paul said. That was just one thing about this. Or you just had one misspeaking where you said on the part of my family side, and you probably should have just said something like concerning my family, when you were turning to talk about your family in your speech. So I just want to talk about your extraordinary words that you used. You said the word bedeviled, which I just liked, that was good. And then that phobia, the fear of success.
Acticophobia, fear of failure.
Oh, fear of failure, wow, yeah, that was unusual, I never heard before. And then you also used the word epitome, which was good. I didn't really have anything for anybody else, but I just wanted to mention Alex's use of the word skeleton for the. That was interesting.
Exception.
But other than that, I didn't really catch anything. Perfect day for everybody.
Well, that's what it is a skeleton, so.
I always try to say nice, turkey carcass.
Yeah, if you look at recipes for turkey soup, it doesn't say the turkey skeleton. But that's what it is.
So that is what you do then, you put the big bones or something.
Well, I'll give my overall report. Again, this has been a wonderful meeting. Our guests can see what we do. And you see that we do it all well. Please don't be intimidated by the skill level that you might see up here, because what we're looking at is hours and hours and days of practice and focus and evaluations. And what we do, if we do it well, is because we've been dedicated to improving. So I guarantee when we first got up here at the beginning of our Toastmasters journey, we collectively were not as smooth. The meeting almost started on time. Adrian and Sergeant at Arms attempted to start the meeting on time, but we had a bit of a delay. We had the banner set up and the table was set up outside. The podium was here, so the trappings of our meeting were set. Just a couple comments about some of the folks. Shek, you have wonderful energy, and Shek does professional training and teaching, and so you can see when he gets on the stage, there's an excitement, and I really admire that. It's wonderful. And you're not officious in any way. You're friendly and welcoming. Farhad, I like the map so we can picture your journey, and the journey has been very interesting. Just to follow that along. No notes, amazing. June, again, no notes. I admire that. You have a very commanding presence up here. You know, you're solid, you're focused, you've got great eye contact, and you're a great teacher. So, and I think and I hope that you've given this kind of presentation to other groups, but it's very compelling and very interesting and very wonderful to hear that stuff. And it makes me think, okay, myself and my loved ones, what are we doing to ourselves? It's very easy to poison ourselves, for sure. And Charlotte, you inspired me, for sure. Andy mentioned when you talked about running away from running from the bullets. I wonder, and you've been married for a couple of years, right? I wonder, as married couples often will, how often your wife plays that back to you when when you're having a conversation, she's just like, you know what, Shoal, when we were back there, do you remember when you ran and you left me? I'm just guessing that she may say those kind of things to you.
When I'm a bad boy, she
But it was a wonderfully inspiring presentation. Larry, I love the tabletop, it was a good topic. All the speakers, wonderful presentations, especially Alex and Beverly jumping in. Alex, thank you for just throwing yourself in. And Beverly, you've been here before, so you threw yourself in also. Ben and Cheryl and June, excellent responses. The evaluations are all great. I think they all capture the essence of the ways for speakers to improve, with good positive aspects offered for students to grow, for speakers to grow in their skills. I think that might be the completion of my evaluation portion. This has been, think about it. Couple of suggestions. Let's make sure the technical aspects of our speeches are all set up. For example, if the screen was not down, this was not all set up. So if you're speaking and using visual aids, please make sure you're all set to go. A couple of times, folks did not come up to the podium, did not shake the person who's at the podium. Make sure that, we're really training to be formal, for formal presentations. So I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but let's practice doing this formally, so that if on occasion you get invited to give a speech in front of a very formal organization, you know how to do it, that you're here, you shake the Toastmasters' hands, you start up here, rather than starting off informally. Now, it's good to walk away from the podium, but let's start off formally. And a couple speakers did not address the group. You all got up here and just started talking. So again, let's practice being formal first, which is Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, and then you can move on and loosen up a little bit. Great meeting, and that completes my report. So I hope the guests have been impressed. So I'll return to control the meeting back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Paul. And we are almost towards the end of the meeting. Yes, Ben?
I wanted to know if you are going to have like a list or a sign-up sheet for next week's potluck. Like, everybody don't bring the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know how you're gonna do it. I'm just asking if you're gonna do it.
Right, definitely. We were gonna do that, I guess, in the executive meeting first and then go out.
But I meant,
Yeah,
how will the
but
members
this-
know to, like, where to sign up, or?
Paul can mention maybe after. in the-
Okay,
his-
okay. I just
closing
think we need
remarks,
to address that, so next week,
Yeah, it's a
y'all
good
don't
point.
bring cookies.
It's a good point, yes.
Somebody brings a drink.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Paul said, what we do up here, sometimes, we're probably not maintaining the agenda, this and that, you won't even ever notice. But that's not what we try to do. We try to do, and there are of course glitches, but this is, be courageous, be here whenever you can. This is just us, right? That's all we have here, 20 to 30 people, we know each other, and we're gonna know more of each other, probably, next meeting or so, but, as a nature, I would take a couple of minutes, since we have about 3-4 minutes, we eliminated, educational moment for Ben because of time constraint that we had, and we had full agenda. But just, wanted to let you know a few things that I stress on many things, and one of the things that I especially put emphasis on is reading. So what I mean to say is that have a habit of reading at least half an hour every day, not like internet news and stuff. Those are good also. It can be good, it can be bad too, but avoid that and do something more personal development, biography and that kind of thing. The reason I say that is what I heard that 5 years from now, two things will happen, or two things will actually apply to you, or where you're gonna be in 5 years from now will depend on two things mostly. One is what books you read, and the other is your association. So, and of course, the other idea is, as you read, it will read something that will immensely nourish your mind, basically. That's the whole goal here. And that way, the other thing I tell people that ideation without execution is nothing but delusion. So if you have ideas, education, but if you're not applying that, that's not gonna work also. And I tell my daughter, who is missing here today, usually she's here with me, that, you know, I tell her that, you know what, and she's a great reader actually, and she gets all nice and A's and this and that. But anyway, what I tell her that, you know, there is a book out there that has some pages, and out of that one page, and there are some words in it for you, which will make you genius, not only just, you know, good. And that will help others, help a lot. So others will get a lot of benefit just because of those words. Then she said, Daddy, so which book is that? Which pages are there? Am I gonna read? Like, you know what? That's the only thing I don't know. So my point is, just read, be a voracious reader, that's gonna help you. And then lastly, before I bring our president back again, just one thing that, you know, pray for those people, the victim and family in Paris. I had some friends and stuff, but a couple of them actually went away, so they're all safe. I'm in fact calling a vigil tomorrow at sunset with another religious organization that I'm involved in. The place to be determined yet. If you guys are interested, of course, you're more than welcome. But thank you very much for being here. Be courageous, and let's do it next week. And we'll sign up for dishes and stuff. But back to President.
December.
Yeah, the next meeting.
Next meeting. Thank you, Sheikh, excellent job. I'd like to call on our guests. I'm gonna start with Beverly, who's not a guest, but is a guest, but is not quite a member yet. Or joined today.
Correct.
Beverly will become a member today, so please tell us what you thought of the meeting, and you've been here before. What do you think of this?
Oh, I enjoyed everyone's speech, and particularly I enjoyed how everyone is at ease speaking in front of the podium, in front of the audience. It's inspiring to me, and I'm excited to be here.
We're glad you were here today again, and congratulations and welcome to the club. And thank you for jumping in again. Krista, what did you think of this meeting?
I really enjoyed the meeting, and I also enjoyed, you know, just seeing everyone speak. Everyone has a different style. I also enjoyed the feedback and you know, how helpful it was. And I also enjoyed, you know, just watching everyone stand at the podium and, you know, floor, you know, how you walk the floor. And, you know, that's really important for me when you stand up in front of a group, because you don't always know how to, you know, stand and what your posture should be. So I really, you know, enjoyed getting that. I got a lot out of it, so, you know, thank you.
Krista, has Isabel approached you yet about membership stuff?
I have
Is-
a
Oh, you got a
packet.
packet? Okay. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And Alex?
Yeah.
What did you think of the meeting?
I really enjoyed it. I think I'm probably gonna come to like one more as a guest and see what I'm gonna do. But think about joining, and hopefully I'll be able to do another impromptu where I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think it'll be very crucial in my development and probably help me in the long term. So thank you.
Guests are invited to our December 12th potluck too, so please bring your turkey dog. Take your skeleton. Before we close, a couple of reminders. Please do mark your calendar for December 12th. It's December 12th, it's here, right after the meeting. Bring a potluck. I'll send out the invitation as an attachment, and ask you to sign up, so we'll see, we can read each other's emails to see who's bringing what. But the fun thing about potlucks is you're just gonna never know. And it is all cookies. I can handle that. So please do come, and we're also gonna take another crack at our club photo. Sure.
I have a pet peeve, and I need to share it before I leave here today. Something we should all be very mindful of is how we pronounce people's names. I'm sure there are some people here today, right now, whose names or name haven't been pronounced correctly. So it's vital that we find out how names are pronounced. Mine is pretty straightforward, kind of. It's Cheryl. but there are very, many variations, but people can be can feel very kind of slighted when their names aren't pronounced correctly. Thought I wanted to share that.
That's a point well taken. Yeah. Please do sign up for our next, Charlotte.
Yeah, I noticed the picture we have on the website, it's very fuzzy.
That's why we can shoot again.
So I have a professional camera, so I can use that to take the group at the next
Great.
session or whenever time we want to take the pictures, so.
I
it'll be
think we'll
much
do right
better.
after the meeting while we're setting up with the potluck.
Okay, that sounds, so that people can dress, if they want to dress well, so they know in advance that we're gonna take a picture.
Fabulous. I can show it. That's great. The meeting on December 12th will be a regular meeting first, so please do sign up. The way we improve and grow in this process is to jump in, sign up for our next speech, take a job at the meeting on the agenda, just take some risks and just do it. And we'll have a full meeting, then we'll have a potluck. So please jump in and put your name down on the agenda. We'll see you all on December 12th. Guests, of course, are invited to come on the 12th. Guests are invited to join the club. Have we missed anything? Anybody else? Announcements? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Meeting is